Hi guys. Okay, so what we're going to do in this video, some of you have been asking me about in AI and kind of machine learning, and lots of you have been looking at game development. Okay, so with this, what I'm going to show you now, basically you can use AI in the games that you've been creating with Python. All right, so that's what I'm going to show. I'm going to show you a brief overview of everything, and then I'm working on something at the moment, so hopefully I can show you another video soon with a bit more advanced material, right? But just to start off, so what we're going to look at, when you're building your games, basically you can imagine it like this image here. So if I try and zoom in a little bit, it's not like me. So what you can do is basically build an environment. All right. So the environment, it would be your game structure. So how is the game played? What are the XY coordinates that you need to act in? What's the way that you can win the game? What kind of makes you lose points? All of this is put into the environment. Okay, and then what we have an agent. So the agent is like it could be a character in your game, and it could be maybe the player. Player one has to beat the agent. All right, and so the AI bot would be the agent in the game, and basically you can use reinforcement learning to train the agent so he can play the game better and better. Okay, so the way that you do this is you basically create an environment, which would be some code. You put your agent into it, and then you can specify some condition where he gets a point, or he gets deducted some points, and basically the better he does, the more points he gets, and he can learn from that experience to get better and better at the game. So that's how reinforcement learning works with kind of these programs. So what you need to do with this, there are different libraries that you can use. So I was looking at these yesterday just to try and help you guys along with this. It is a bit of a minefield, so kind of stick to the most well-known ones. So just to show you this stuff. So basically, there is, if you're working with Pygame, which I know a couple of you are, you can work with this Pygame learning environment. So there's pre-built games already, so you don't have to build all the environment out. You can quickly, basically, you can quickly get to grips with the rewards and how the code is working. Okay, so that's a good place to start if you want to play around with this, and then you can get going quickly, understand the concepts, and then once you're building your own games, then you can move on to something more advanced. Okay, so this is kind of one example. So just clear that out. So you running Python 3, and this was one of the games. It's not Pong. It's basically a game where you have to capture certain colors. So I think it was green it was rewarded 10 points, and if it catches the red, the red dots, then it would lose points. Okay, so you can see here that the good is increasing. Okay, so his score is should be going up. It takes a bit of a time to learn, but you see it's going up there over time. Okay, so that's what that was doing. That to be honest, it needs a bit of fine tuning that, but as you can see, it's kind of learned as it's gone along. It needs a bit of tweaking, that one though. It's not perfect. So then the next thing, so that's just a basic way to get started. The next program that you can use, or the next library you can use, is this TensorForce. Okay, so TensorFlow is a really good library that's been built, and it's got lots of machine learning algorithms already programmed. So TensorForce is basically a way to you can easily modify lots of the code. So basically, you can build your own environments quickly if you know what your game is about, and you can apply this TensorForce library to build some code so machine learning can happen in your game. Okay, so TensorForce, TensorFlow library for applied reinforcement learning. Okay, so Google's basically built this TensorFlow, and you can use this TensorForce to get started. It's super useful and it's not too buggy. Okay, so here you can see that you can make an agent. So that's what I was telling you before. That'd be like your bot. And then you can train that up based on this environment that you give it. You can use the environments that are set, so predefined is basically, so like this one, the cart pole, is one really common one that's used in kind of academic research. But you can use custom environments, which is really interesting because basically you can model any problem in the world and then apply an agent to it. So for example, if you use like the trading bots for something like Bitcoin or something, you can use this to basically build out the environment, which would be like the trading, the numbers for the trading, and then you could basically train your agent to act within those parameters and learn based upon the conditions that you set. Okay, so this is super useful, super interesting stuff. Hopefully, you can have a play around with this. Play around with the Pygame to get used to the idea, and then move on to this and start building out your own code so you can apply machine learning and more specifically reinforcement learning, which is kind of like cutting edge at the moment, to your games and to different programs. All right. So hopefully you found that useful. Let me know if you've got any questions, put it in the comments and I'll try to get back to you. I'm working on one more program to try and implement this. So I'll show you that once that's ready. Okay, good luck.